So I bought this Ninja cold press juicer 4 months ago, and I waited this long to do a review on it because they claim it could handle hard foods like carrots, and I wanted to really put that to the test because honestly I was a little bit skeptical. As you can see, it looks like it struggles a little bit running the carrots through. So my question was, could it hold up longer term? But before I get to that, I'm going to show you the unboxing and setup. It came well packaged in a nice looking box. Inside on top you have the manual along with some recipes. Then you have the main pulp control strainer. This one is the less pulp one that we mainly use. Then you have the food tray, then the main body of the machine with the auger and the more pulp filter installed. I was surprised by how solidly built this felt, taking into account its plastic. The disassembly is easy. You just twist the cap to the unlock position, then you can remove the filter and the auger and you can place it all in the dishwasher. Finally, you come to the main machine and the containers. This is the main container your juice will end up in. It's convenient that it has measurements on the side in case you need to portion out the juice. This container is where all the waste goes. We found a nice trick to make cleanup easier and I'll show you that in a bit. And last in the box is the machine and the food tamper. So before we see this in action, we need to assemble it, which is easy. First, install the auger, then your preferred pulp filter, lock on the cap, and then attach that to the machine by inserting and twisting until the little tab pops. Don't forget to open the little door underneath, or the juices could build up in the machine and start coming back up the chute. It's easy to catch if you're paying attention, but I've heard it happening to people. Definitely not me though. Anyway, moving on. So then the pulp container goes here and the food tray attaches on top like this. And the juice container goes right here. And obviously the tamper goes on top. So here is the little trick to making cleanup easier. You can just basically take any bag and place it in the pulp container, so that way you don't even need to worry about cleaning it up after you're done juicing. And actually juicing is simple. You click start and start feeding your ingredients into the juicer. See the little wobble of the machine as I'm feeding it? This is what made me take longer to do a review. I wanted to make sure it would hold up over time. But even though it does move a little bit, it handles everything like a champ and hasn't given me any issues in the last 4 months. So a couple of tips. While it's great about not getting clogged, it helps it run better if you mix soft things like oranges with harder things like carrots or celery. Doing that helps push the pulp out better. You will also probably need to press the pulp down a bit to make more room in the bucket. The pulp comes out a little moist, but honestly it squeezed out more moisture than I expected it to. The pulp control is pretty good, but even with the low pulp filter, there is some in the juice, especially if you do things like oranges. The machine itself is very quiet, and this is what it sounds like. We used to use a centrifugal juicer and it was much louder. Now, based on my 4 months of experience with this juicer, I'd say the only way it clogs is if somebody forgets to open that little door underneath and it hypothetically backs up so badly that it gets clogged and you need to take everything apart and then restart it. Otherwise, it's usually enough to just hit the reverse a little bit if you see less pulp coming out, and that usually fixes the problem. Now, the cleanup is much easier on this versus the centrifugal juicer, especially if you use a bag. You just pull the bag out and toss it. Then close the little door on the bottom, detach this, and go rinse or hand wash it. We usually just rinse it out and then toss it in the dishwasher. It comes out pretty much completely clean. If there are any drips on the base, like I made here while holding it up for the camera, they're pretty easy to wipe up. So all in all, after 4 months of use, I think this is a great little machine. It makes great juice and is quiet and easy to clean. I'm honestly very impressed with it, and I believe it'll last for a long time to come.